La 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 da 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 la la da 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 la da 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 da. In the first of a potentially continuing but maybe finishing with one episode series, I'm going to be looking at Christopher McQuarrie's 2018 film Mission Impossible Fallout. It is an excellent film, a genuine thrill ride that is one of the best cinema experiences I've ever had. But a lot of it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I'm starting with it because there are two parts of the film that have so much wrong with them it can detract from the overall experience once you've taken a moment to think about it. First is the halo jump and Paris nightclub sequence. Now, this featured a lot in the advertising, especially the halo jump, and it is an amazing piece of cinema. The setup is this. Ethan Hunt, a man of statistically average height, has lost 6 plutonium cores through his own incompetence and must retrieve them. Because he made the mess in the first place, he's in trouble and must work alongside August Walker, a CIA agent with a silly name and inconvenient facial hair. They learn a woman known as the White Widow may possibly have one of the cores in Paris and is planning to sell it to a man known as Lark. The sale will take place in a private room of a nightclub, and they want to have Hunt take Lark's place. Their plan to accomplish this is as follows. Perform a halo jump, enter the nightclub through the roof, get down to ground level, find their target by tracking down the unique signal of his ID band needed to enter the club, and then replace him. This is the worst plan in the history of plans. Its only purpose is for a cool action scene, and it is very cool. That was probably demanded by Tom Cruise because he wanted to jump out of a plane loads of times. So, why is this a terrible plan? First of all, the halo jump. I have one main question about this, which is why? It's not a military base in North Korea, it's a nightclub in Paris. One that's holding a charity event. Hunt says it's so they can get into France undetected, but why would that be so difficult? We've seen Ethan Hunt travel all over the world, even when he was a wanted man, so what's so special about France? They have fake identities and masks that not only make you indistinguishable from another person, they also magically make you the same height and build as them. Why not just fly into Paris in disguise? Why does risking the lives of 2 agents for no good reason suddenly seem like such a good idea? Say they really don't want to use the airport for whatever reason. What about entering by land? Given there was estimated to be between 300,000 and 400,000 unauthorised immigrants living in France in 2017, surely it can't be that hard to sneak into the country? The building they need to access is called the Grand Palais. To enter it, you need an electronic ID band containing a chip that can be scanned to identify the wearer. Would it be so hard to fake one of these? There is, ostensibly at least, a charity event taking place. Sure, there's additional security to access the private room, but them doing a halo jump onto the roof doesn't solve that problem either. Look at all of these people in the nightclub. All of these people got in, but the combined forces of IMF and the CIA can't fake one of those IDs. They managed to get details of the band that's going to be worn by Lark, so they can find it in the first place, but they can't even find another person that's going and take their band instead. Surely there must be a way to get their own one or another one. To make matters worse, Ilse Faust, who is a former agent, not only has an ID band, she also has one that allows her into the private room. How can she get one, but Hunt and Walker, with all their many resources and connections, cannot? Leaving that aside, let's say for some reason they can't get these ID bands. Is there not another way inside? They have to unlock the door from the roof, so couldn't they unlock another door? There are lots of ways in and out of the Grand Palais. And this is France, which has a smoking ban. So wait for somebody to prop open a door so they can nip outside for a crafty cigarette and then wander inside. If you really, really want to get in through the roof, There's a building across the road that's taller than the Grand Palais. Use a zip wire. There are so many better ways to access it than jumping through a freaking storm. Moving on, the next part of the plan is to intercept the man they believe to be called Lark, knock him out, and then take his place. Hunt has been told that Lark will be at the nightclub sometime before midnight to meet the White Widow. He's also told the White Widow will be waiting for him until midnight and will then sell whatever it is she's got to somebody else. This may not be true. Ilse Faust later says that Lark is buying the item at midnight. However, whether or not that's true is irrelevant. MIF and the CIA clearly didn't know this. They don't know what Lark looks like or exactly what time he'll be arriving. What if they had been too late? What if Lark had passed through into the private room while they were faffing about getting into the building in one of the least convenient ways possible? Also, why wait until Lark is in the building? Given they can track his ID band at a reasonable distance and there are only a limited number of routes to the main entrance to the building, why not pick him up before he gets there? Have agents waiting at nearby intersections with the tracking devices, disable his car and then replace him. The event probably has valet parking, so just be a valet and knock him out before he gets out of the car. In the movie, Hunt and Walker follow Lark into an amazingly clean gents' toilet. What if Lark hadn't needed to go to the toilet? What if he'd already been? What if he knew the private room had its own toilet? Would they have drugged Lark in the middle of the crowded dance floor, dragged him into a private area, all the while hoping that nobody noticed? Because if the security here is so tight they couldn't find another way in, surely somebody would notice that. And if the security saw, their plan would be ruined. Except, luckily for them, he does arrive at the right time and he does go to the toilet. This then erupts into a huge fight, which is noticed by nobody else. Not one single man at the event needs to use the toilet during this time. They smash the whole place up and nobody sees a thing. Not even the cleaners, who must be in there almost constantly, judging by how impossibly clean it is. If they did, then security would be called and the plan would be ruined again. To sum it up, their plan is to access a building in the most ridiculous way and then hope that they will cross paths with a man who could have arrived way before they did and then replace him when he's practically at the place they need to access. Which, thanks to dumb luck, would have worked had Walker not been so incompetent. Also, it just occurred to me that they don't need the mask anyway, because Hunt gets into the private area without it. Because the White Widow has arranged to sell a plutonium core to somebody without any way of verifying their identity. This means that the whole part of intercepting Lark to steal his identity was a waste of time. They had the code for Lark's ID band and presumably would have had the technology to make their own band or get hold of one. Therefore, all they had to do was get there before Lark, use the ID band to access the private room, and then make the sale. If Lark turned up afterwards, it would show up as a duplicate ID and they would assume he was the fake. And by that point, as I said, they had no idea when he was going to turn up. They could have bought the plutonium core and been gone. So, having written a script in which I thought I picked apart every part of this that annoyed me, it got worse. Their whole plan was a waste of time. Second, the London rooftop chase. Before I start, I'd like to introduce this man. He is called Mike Powell, and on the 30th of August 1991, he broke a world record. That was the day that Mike Powell successfully jumped 29 feet and 4¼ inches, a record that remains unbroken 30 years later. However, jumping this distance is nothing. Following some double crosses, Hunt is somehow surprised to find out that mediocre Superman is the villain of the piece. There's a big shootout and Walker gets away. Hunt wants to chase after him, but unfortunately there are random bad guys blocking off every path. Seriously, for some reason they are every exit from St Paul's Cathedral, even though Hunt most likely wouldn't have gone in there. You see, Hunt is beneath the dome of the cathedral. Here, he can't make a run for the main doors because of random goons, so he runs for the stairs. These stairs, which are known as the Dean's Staircase, which is next to the main doors, meaning Hunt could have run to the main doors, but he didn't. Also means that Benji's tablet is showing Hunt in the wrong place. Also means he wouldn't be able to get to the Whispering Gallery, where we next see him. It's quite amazing how they got one building, especially such a famous building, so very wrong. The thugs give chase, but Hunt cunningly blocks them by closing a door, and the thugs are too stupid to try the handle. Hunt makes daring leaps across rooftops until he arrives at Blackfriars Bridge. Based on what we see, we can track Hunt's journey, and it looks like this. Here we see, thanks Google Maps, that Hunt would have to jump across 4 roads: St Paul's Churchyard, Carter Lane, Knight Rider Street and Queen Victoria Street. Both Carter Lane and Knight Rider Street are, according to Google Earth, approximately 30 feet across. This means that Hunt would have to equal or better the world record. But it gets better, because to jump from the Faraday Building to Baynard House, Hunt would have to jump across Queen Victoria Street. How wide is Queen Victoria Street? Approximately 70 feet, so over twice the world record. And we've still got one more to go. Hunt leaps from St Paul's Cathedral and must pass over St Paul's Churchyard. How far is that? 87 or so feet. However, even that wasn't enough. Watch Hunt leap from St Paul's. He lands on this roof, jumps down and runs over a skylight. This is the Sabine rooftop bar pictured here. That means he jumps from the cathedral roof and doesn't land on the nearest building at a mere 87 feet, but jumps that building and also Carter Lane. That's over 200 feet. Over 6 times the world record. What I want to know is why Hunt didn't use these amazing skills in Paris. At only 135 feet from a near building to the roof of the Grand Palais, surely that would have been easy. That was just 2 parts of Mission Impossible Fallout. There's more, big and small, but that covers it for now. Bless you if you made it this far. Next time, I'm hoping to be looking at something that really annoys me in one of my all-time favourite films. Absolutely classic Die Hard. But for now, doodle pip.